The Johnsky is a YouTube channel run by and run for people over the age of 13. People under the age of 13 should click off of this video right now, or watch with a parent or guardian. Viewer discretion is advised.
You don't scare me!
Hello, this is freaking today, Militiaman. My name is King Prime, and welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at another Jazwares World of Halo action figure, that being the Jazwares World of Halo Spartan-092. Before we take a look at him, let's take a look at what it comes in.
Box!
So every single one of these Jazwares Vault Spartan figures we got from Halo. We have the John Jibber with him on the front, him on the side, Halo logo on the top. Fuck off. Then come back in, we have another box on the inside of just Jerome, looking way better than he does in person on the cover. Nice shiny gold foil sticker there on the top, up on the top. On the side, Jerome looking off in the distance, and then we have his name, and he's the fourth figure in the Jazwares Vault line. On the side, just a little bit of the window, and on the back, a photo of Jerome holding his visor, as well as a little box that tells you what he comes with. On the inside, we have a very shadowy image, shadowy and stuff. And then on the inside, that's where the figure is. There's his name, another one of the stickers, and the very 2004-ish metrosexual logo background drop thing that the figure comes in. Okay, fuck off. Now that that's out of the way, we can take a look at Jerome here, and I'm not gonna lie, he's, yeah, we'll get into it. First of all, we'll take a look at what he comes with. Of course, first off, being that terrain piece, they of course can snap together. The other ones, here's John's from the last review. Yay. Just kind of this Forerunner terrain bit. Two pegs, of course. You can take his boot, stick it down, and yeah, he stands on it. It's a display base. We don't know what these things do. They're awful though, so fuck off. And lastly, he does have the Splazer, and I'm not gonna lie, this thing's pretty cool. I think the best part about it is that it does look just tiny compared to him. And if you put it next to like a clone trooper here, it looks massive. So it's very funny how well scaled the weapon is compared to him. Of course, he can hold it, and yeah, he makes this thing look tiny. He's just so big, but he can hold it well. You can, of course, also get his other hand on the front there, so you can properly hold this blazer, and that looks pretty good. Of course, it does also have a back peg, so you can peg it onto the back of any figure, including Jerome here, even though I usually don't. I thought that the charging handle that you see right there was going to get in the way of this, but it didn't. So I am genuinely surprised. Also, shout out to this blazer for kind of looking like World War II fighter plane nose art. But without further ado, let's take a look at Jerome himself. He looks pretty good-ish. I love his armor. His armor out of the light, let me just turn that off and bring him out, kind of looks like World War II tank armor, which I'm sure that's what the original intent was for the designers, just, you know, a little bit with a more futuristic take. What really stands out, though, is his abysmally god-awful piss yellow visor that sucks ass. I mean, this is what his visor is supposed to look like in Halo Wars 2, which this is, of course, based off of. Not good. It looks great in my light here because of the warm color. It looks more golden than it does yellow, but I promise this is like SpongeBob SquarePants yellow, and it's just not good. But getting close here for the detail, it does have a massive seam line. I don't know if you can pop it out like the old Joyride ones, but if you can and repaint it, dude, please God do it, because this thing looks awful. The Mark IV helmet does not yield well to this kind of coloring. It's just so bad. But of course, he does have his little red stripe there on his helmet crest. Goes all the way down the back of his helmet. And then, of course, this is also his red stripe on his chest, as well as the red dot next to the 092. Perfect for Jerome. The intricate details on this guy, other than those, are just phenomenal. Even on his undersuit, his tech suit underneath the armor. Going down, you see all the sculpted detail, little inlays and stuff like that are painted over with stripe. He does also have his helmet there, his Spartan helmet that he's supposed to have printed upside down on this copy of the figure, which is truthfully hilarious. I've never noticed that, or maybe it came assembled wrong, and I just flipped it now. I truthfully, swear to God, never noticed that, but of course there it is for his symbol as a Spartan. Continuing the pattern down, he does have massive thighs with the textured details on the inner thigh as well as the outer thigh on the Mjolnir, and going down the calves and the boots are fantastic, and this figure feels massive, I mean, truthfully. And then going on to the back there, his back is absolutely shredded with detail, not just on the tech suit, but also on the Mjolnir, on his butt, and then the back of his legs is pretty plain, but really the back is the true recipient of the detail. Moving on to articulation, he does, of course, have an up and down joint at the head, so he can get about that far up and that far down, so he can look all the way down, but not really that far up. That's probably just a limitation of his massive fucking roid neck, which I find funny, and of course everything else just swivel there. That's kind of loose, doesn't really matter. He does have a big bit of plastic here that represent his massive, unyieldy shoulders that kind of do limit his articulation outwards like that. You can stretch it, but without stretching it, you get about that far down, it's going to droop a little bit. Same thing on the other side. If you stretch it, yep, of course, that's going to pop off. Maybe that's what happened, and I just never noticed. I put it back on upside down. That's really strange, but I've never seen a World of Halo figure that has a removable piece of armor. That's so strange to me. Either way, it can go all the way around if you fudge it and make his arm go out like this, because, again, that hindrance right there with his massive fuck you shoulder. He does have a about 90-degree elbow bend there, which is about normal for a World of Halo figure. Of course, Jazwares elbows, unfortunately. And 2 in and out joints at the wrist, which of course can swivel as well. In and out, swivel as well. He's got a great diaphragm joint, which so he can get his Jerome reps in, his red team reps in, as well as a waist swivel, which doesn't go all the way around, but it is there, it's present, just from the way how the figures are built. He does have and on the angle here, dumbbell joint at the hips, so he can get a good range of articulation forward. Not that much backwards because he is dummy thick. You can fudge it though and go that far out. And of course, to the side, not that far and that far. No full Van Den from him, unfortunately. Just like every other Jazwares figure though, or Jazwares Spartan I should say, double jointed knees, so you can get a full bend there. And then
My dumbass forgot it, but there's also a thigh swivel, obviously.
lastly, of course, you just have an ankle pivot, which can go about that far in. And then they toe down all the way and toe up all the way. So, of course, from the bottom half, just like every other Jazwares figure, great range of motion, but from the upper half, needs some work, especially with some of those, issues with the paint. God, he's fugly. Alright, anyway, that's it for the articulation. Let's get this guy next to some other figures to show you exactly how Jerome stacks up with some others. Freeze frame. Freeze frame on freeze. Here is Jerome next to our previous Jazwares World of Halo review. Master Chief, the Master Chief, out of disorder. Here is Jerome next to the golden standard of action figures himself, Dark Times Darth Vader. Here he is next to a Mandalorian of my own design. And here he is next to the Vitruvian Hack's skeleton. So, of course, Jerome absolutely towers over everyone, even John over here. Jerome is supposed to be this huge hulking bruiser, still in his Mark IV armor, and the design team definitely took that into account when making this figure. They just didn't take into account how I mean, just look between John and Jerome. Look how awful his visor looks compared to John's. It's just, it's day and night. Here, go, let's fix this. Of course, it's like glowing. John's is like metallic and reflective. Jerome's looks like the sun. Anyway, obviously he towers over Vader, as he rightfully should, as well as everyone else. He's big, he's chunky, but will he hold up to my scrutiny? We'll find out when I give my final thoughts, which I'm going to do right now. Freeze frame. Freeze frame unfreeze. So overall, Jerome is a weird amalgamation of really good and really bad. For the good, of course, the articulation from his waist down and even a little bit in the top is pretty decent. Down in the bottom, of course, is great for Jazwares figure. But at the top, I'm really surprised I can get him into a blazer holding pose, getting his arm folded up so that he can actually aim the damn thing properly like he should be able to, and then being so massive that he makes this blazer look small are two definite boons to his advantage. Not to mention, I mean, cover his damn visor, and this thing looks fantastic. It could have probably used a wash, but every Jazwares figure could have, so I can forgive that part. That ugly ass thing I can't forgive. Also, the weird thing with the shoulder, I don't know if that's me or if that's the factory. Either way, it would have been really sucky if that wasn't able to be flipped around. Luckily I was, so I'm not going to knock it. Just be careful and check your Jeromes, because maybe you didn't notice that maybe you didn't notice that your helmet, your Spartan helmet on his shoulder is flipped around, but I digress. Great sculpted detail, pretty good painting except for that. All right articulation makes this figure good with an asterisk next to it. This needs to be fixed. I will probably, I don't even care about Jerome all that much. I will probably repaint this myself because I hate the way it looks so much. Additionally, of course, this figure was $20 at retail, which I don't love, especially because now we know the Jazwares World of Halo is a dead line, and we're not getting Alice or Douglas. We just get Jerome, which, I mean, rounds out the collection of our protagonists for these Halo games. But, man, I don't know. It just kind of sucks. We have way too many missing teams, and Jerome's going to feel very lonely on the shelf when I have him up there. But that is my thoughts on that. But anyway, if you like Jerome, you like Halo Wars, you like Jazwares World of Halo, or you like Halo in general, make sure you share this video with your friends. Share the Facebook groups, all that good stuff. If you like the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Keeps helping the channel grow. Keeps helping me pump out this content. That's going to be pretty much it for this time, my friends. Thank you all so very much for watching, and as always, peace.
I don't wanna be an old man.